Hi, my name is James Carpenter, and I would like to teach your child how to play flute. I would like to go over with them the modern techniques used by contemporaries in the field of flute pedagogy, and I would like to teach them how to breathe properly. I would like to teach them proper intonation, flute hold, etc. And one of my objectives is for your child to learn how to read music, and we'll work on that. So let's go ahead and get started. The very first thing that I would like to do with your child is to sustain an A on the head joint of the flute. So, have your child match this pitch. I'll have your child put the head joint, the end of the head joint in their hand, and then we'll match the pitch together. Alright, and when I have that set up with your child, we will put the flute together and we will work on the embouchure of the flute. So one of the things that is really important with the flute is called the aperture. The lips will kind of close, like I'm gonna tell your child to put their lips like with a silent P, and then we'll work on getting that aperture smaller. It's kind of like if you put your thumb over a water hose, the intensity and the speed of the airstream or the water increases, but there's less water coming out. It's the same concept, and it's very important in playing flute. So we'll work on that. With a small aperture. The embouchure also needs to cover 1/3 of the tone hole on the headpiece. And for the higher notes, the embouchure needs to come forward and push about 2/3 across the head joint to reach the upper octave. Alright, and I would like to go over the D major scale with your child. We're going to start on the lower octave, and to play the low D, the child needs to drop their jaw in order to get the flute to respond. So, after I go over the embouchure and the scale with your child, we will talk about how to articulate. There's a technique called the backward tongue technique, and it is where there are two syllables that we, as flute players, enact. One of them is who, the other is hoot. To get the note started on the flute, you say who, or you don't say who, but it's the same muscle motion. So, that is who. That is me saying who into the instrument. Well, I'm not saying it, but and the other the other sound that we use, or the muscle motion that we use in the mouth, is hoot. And essentially what that is the tongue is touching the top of the mouth, and we are articulating over and over again with a hoot, the T sound, so we get a clear distinction between notes instead of with the who. Alright, and after I go over your child with how to articulate notes, we will talk about intonation. Alright. If the flute is rolled too much in when you're playing, it will be flat. For example, we'll play a B flat. If it's rolled too much in, it'll sound like this. If it's rolled too much out, it'll be sharp. So we need to roll it in. It's one technique that can be used is to kiss the mouthpiece. Put it between both lips and then roll it slightly out, keeping the lower lip a third over the tone hole. After we work on intonation, I'll go over repertoire with your child. The first repertoire piece, the expressive melody that I'm able to play, is the Yellow Rose of Texas. Lastly, we will go over two contrasting expressive pieces. The first piece I'm going to play with your child is called Over the Rainbow. It is by Harold Arlen. The second melody that we will go over is Ein kleine Nachtmusik by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Alright, thank you. I appreciate it.